Hello and welcome to Respect, DanceFest Weekly with me, Micaya, and my fabulous co-host, Brandy.
Fabulous! What's up, y'all? Welcome back.
Tell me what's up, Brandy.
What's up? Okay, what's up is we live in a new country now, okay? That's kind of coming back to its senses. So that's awesome, right? I just feel like I can breathe a little easier. Still lots of work to do, but whoo, right? Yes, do the dance.
Let's roll. So pop, 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 pop chest.
Yes, do the thing.
Are we going the same way? No, we're going opposite.
I don't know.
Honestly, it didn't even sink in until today. It was like, wow. But today it's like, oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. I am so ready to get rid of this fool out of this White House. I'm so done.
Yes.
I'm ready to break up with him for the rest of my life. Block his number. This restraining order.
Woo! Oh my goodness. Get a taser. Don't even come back. You will get tased.
No, blocked.
Right.
Friends you just like don't ever wanna. Done. And he wasn't even our boyfriend. He just forced himself on us. Okay, let's move on.
We could get into that, right? Okay. One more week.
Yeah, one more week. I got to tell you something. I went over and saw the show, our show, the other night, all the pre-recorded sections, and I have not stopped vibrating since then. I'm literally in cloud 9. This show, between the live sections of the performers that we have and us and this pre-recorded stuff, it's everything. Pick something, yep, that's in it, all the stuff, all the feels, all the wonder. So I'm in a whole nother space today because of that. I'm so excited. I want to let you know that if you go to SFIHHDFDancefest.com, you can get the tickets, but if you go to SFHipHopDanceFest.com/2020, you can buy the merchandise that we have, the t-shirts and the mask, some vintage zip-up jackets and whatnot. And you can also register. Actually, when this airs, you can go online for this online auction, because you know about the online auction, right?
Oh, yes, I'm already registered.
So yes. What's in the auction?
There's all kinds of stuff. There's like some physical therapy, there's some skincare, there's some, what else was there? I can't remember. I remember the physical therapy.
Dance classes,
that's right.
Restaurants, cafes, zip lining.
Oh, that's right.
Artwork, a whole bunch of things. And basically, this is something we usually do at our One Love event. It's hilarious and fun because, people all get excited about outbidding each other and whatnot. And of course, it all helps the Dance Fest. But you can do that now online. So go to sfhiphopdancefest.com/2020 to buy merchandise or get the auction items, and all of that, of course, helps out the Dance Fest and whatnot. But this time next week, we're all going to be at the Commonwealth Club doing this festival that I'm proud of. Ooh,
so excited. I remember talking to you like, what are we going to do? Or I think you might even reached out to me. I was like, oh my gosh, we can't do it. What are we going to do? We're doing it. It's happening.
We are doing it. But you know what? I wouldn't have done anything if it wasn't for all the people in this heaven cloud known as the San Francisco International Hip Hop Dance Fest. From you, from Kevin, from Gypsy and Kristen and Simon and Fumi and Jordan and Brecken.
David.
Oh, David. Thank you. I knew I was like, I'm gonna forget somebody and they're gonna slap me. so many people that just made this set work when I said, you know, this is not what I can do. And people have just been lifting this up. And it's obviously a joy. It's a labor of love that we all are in. There's not one person that works, and we work for the Dance Fest, that don't do it because it's a labor. There's more to it. There's hours that we don't clock in and go, oh, I didn't get, honey, people, there's nobody. We all do it because there's love in it, and it shows. It shows. And
it's a celebration. It's a celebration. It's like you have an internal clock. You're like, oh, it's almost Dance Fest. I got to start getting ready. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I want to say one thing before you introduce our guests, and that is one of the team members this week asked if we could do a post wrap-up episode of Respect. So I haven't asked our guru yet, Kevin, but if he says yes, I asked you and you said yes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if he says yes, I'd like to do just a wrap-up Respect episode with you at some point after the show is over, just to talk about it, our final. So this is not our final one, hopefully, because I don't want to say goodbye to you.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so this is not our final one. All right, tell us who is here today.
All right, we have two guests today. If we have two guests, sometimes they're usually in the same dance company, but we have two of our soloists who are doing the curated piece, Isolation and Humanity. I think I got the title right. So we have Jade Hackett and Jardy Santiago. So Jade is an artistic director, choreographer, performer, and she's based in the UK. She specializes in numerous dance styles, like just this girl can dance, right? And her body of work explores themes related to women, freedom of speech, and mass incarceration. We also have, like I said, Jardy Santiago, self-taught dancer, teacher, choreography, originally hailing from San Jose Bay Area. And he's traveled the globe, immersing himself in house dance. He's been dancing since way back in the day. And he has a really awesome online house dance tutorial thing going on. Really cool. And he's been doing that since 2009, way before the pandemic. So welcome to Jardy and Jade. We are so excited to have both of you here.
I think we're going to see a clip of Jardy and Dance Fest first.
You're right. Let's do that first. Boom. We're going to see a clip of Jardy at the SF International Hip Hop Dance Fest.
Welcome, Jade, and welcome, Jardy. We're so happy to have you both on our program.
Hi there.
Woo-hoo!
How's it going, Micaya?
Great. Oh, we're honored to have you. I want to start out with the theme of this podcast. It's called Respect. We've talked to a lot of artists, a lot of dance artists about this topic, and it's really turned into a topic regarding value and how we value ourselves as artists and how we are treated with the value of like in the industry, so to speak, or in our art, and how people treat us. And that is also like in different countries. Do you feel like you're valued more? Do you feel like you're valued less? It's a very open-ended question because we want to just get people's ideas and feedback. So Jade, do you have any feedback on any of that?
On the topic of value and respect, I think the topic of value and respect is the most prevalent that it has been now. Yes, I'm in the UK, I'm in England, but you are my brothers and sisters that I am linked to through the arts across the water. And art in general is a universal language, I believe. So if I'm in a room with a Spanish person French person, even a deaf person, we all understand movement and art, and that links us. So the industry as a whole, we're all connected because of that. So to see America celebrating right now and how great it is over there, and how awesomely divine the energy must be right now for you, because we feel it over here. We're celebrating in our streets, and we're all the way over in land of tea and biscuits and crumpets. So you can only feel the essence of what it means to really respect one another. You voted for valuing lives. You voted for valuing humanity. In turn, it made us see and have a sense of restored faith in America and what its core principles at heart are for the people. And in turn, that's a whole humanitarian thing. America has a lot of weight in terms of the world, you know, the influence over the world. So it's very near and dear. It's a very near and dear place to my heart, I think, just because of dance and how we're all linked and combined together in a project like this, where I'm connected to people like Jardy, and I've kind of, you know, we've been working with each other for so long now. And then there was points, Jardy, I was like Skyping you and your whole background was red because of the fires that were happening over there. And you do innately kind of start to get worried and start to have an intrinsic level of respect and value for other people that we're in this project, let alone people in general, you know. So I think it's an ongoing topic in general, but right now, in this moment now, I don't know how you can not talk about those two things. It's everything. Like, you change your lives, and in turn you've changed the rest of the world's lives. We're all celebrating with you, man. So congratulations. Just want to say that I respect and value what you did for yourselves. Awesome.
Woo, for real, huh? That was wet.
It's real.
Misty-eyed over here. Yes.
Jardy, you've been in the game, in the dance world for a long, long time. You've performed, you've put with different groups, you've done commercial stuff, you've done artistic stuff. Do you feel like you've been valued as an artist throughout your journey?
You know, for me, I feel like I've been very fortunate. I just feel like it's been love from a certain point. It hasn't always been like that. It's been, before that, it was kind of like really trying to fight for your respect, trying to, you know, pay your dues. But after a certain point, when I just kind of like let it go and made it more about like helping people and being of service and just having fun for myself, it came right back to me. After that, it was just kind of like easy sailing, and then it's just a lot of fun, a lot of like connecting throughout, like with people around the world. And in terms of like respect, I feel like I said, I feel like I've been very fortunate. I feel lucky, you know. I feel like I feel like people have shown me the respect, shown me the love, and I haven't been asking for anything more. You know, I feel fulfilled and like in what I do. So yeah, earlier when I heard Jade talking, I definitely can't beat that answer. So I could just talk about like my own personal experience with it, but yeah, I feel like I feel like I'm very valued for what I've done.
Mm-hmm. So I would very much, Jade, like you, which I just want to say Jade is my middle name. So
yes,
I got
girl.
that with you. So can you share with us the history of your dance journey, like coming into dance, and of course it's going to have to be little edited, but
of course. Well, I started when I was in the womb. I'm gonna go with that. And my mum kind of saw that I had a bit of abnormal level of rhythm, more than just, you know, a baby bumping up and down in a diaper. So then she kind of started taking me to we call it stage school. So it's kind of, you know, the classics. So you've got the ballet, tap, contemporary, modern jazz, all of that stuff. So I learned all of my foundations there, but it never really sat in my bones, I don't think. It was just me going through the motions and learning the steps. And then I got old enough to kind of take myself elsewhere, and I found a girl. Actually, she was from America. I can't even remember. I think she was from Virginia. I can't remember, but she, her name was Crystal, and she was doing like a step class. So very sorority based body percussion, and that stuff is exposing. When you haven't got no music or no nothing, you have to learn rhythmic patterns on your own, and you're clapping one and the other person's on the two, you can hear it. So not only did she really teach me about musicality and really understanding sound, but the history, but she was able to give me so much knowledge about kind of where this dance has come from, the African diaspora that it's attached to, and then that just made sense to me. It really did. It made sense to me in a way that the classics really never. And then I just didn't look back. And then she left and went back to America. And then I was hunting for something very similar. And then I found hip hop. There's a company called Boy Blue Entertainment that we have here, run by a guy called Kenrick Sandy. And yeah, I just kind of started training there. I had my own crew that I was working with a lot of different people called Unity, and eventually moved up to another company called Zoo Nation, which does theatre. So we call it hip hop theatre. I guess the closest thing you guys have to it is Hamilton, but not at the same time. It's really weird. You kind of have to experience it yourself. So, you know, if you ever come to the UK anytime, just look for a hip hop theatre show by any of the 4 pillars of the dance community, which is Boy Blue, Bird Gang, which I know you guys have had over there before, Zoo Nation, and Avant-Garde. Those are our 4 pillars. So yeah, boy, shout out to the Bird Gang crew.
I think we've had Boy Blue here. Isn't that who this is on my shirt?
I think so.
No.
Is it different?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
That looks like Skittles and Skittles and Nads, and I can't remember who the last person was, but yeah.
Well,
yeah, probably.
Yeah, I have all of the posters of every year, and they were on 2012. Yeah.
That looks like them. Yeah, I remember that piece as well. That was really good.
Oh man. Thank you. Wow. No, that's that. So I have to tell you guys something. I saw the finished piece of yours. For what we're talking about is many months ago, I chose 5 dancers, movement architects, artists, to collaborate on this world premiere piece. And I basically just stepped out of the room and let them do their thing. And I honestly haven't seen much anything until the other night. That's how much I trust them as artists. I saw the piece the other night. It's beautiful, to say the least. It's sublime. It's vulnerable. It's real. It's personal. It's not manipulative in any way. It allows you to just go with it with what you are. It's a journey. I'm going to stop touching. Basically, the 5 artists are B-Boy Spaghetti, Dwayne Taylor, Jardy Santiago, Jade Hackett, and son, Kim. So tell me a little bit about the process, Jade, of this piece. What is it and what you did in it? Anything you'd like to share?
Oh, the isolation in humanity. I think we kind of, and Jardy, maybe you can back me up here. We had lots and lots of in-depth talks about kind of what we're going through. And at the time, it was the height of obviously the pandemic. We're all really going through it. The UK and the USA are the two highest ranking in terms of recorded cases. We presently now we are in another lockdown. So this is our second after being in one for 5 months, and we're now back in it for another 2-3 months. I don't know. We don't know what's happening. So also we was really in the process of the Black Lives Matter movement, which here the protests here were mammoth. Like, we came out in our droves over here. So whatever forces we were, hopefully you felt over there, we were pushing it all over across the sea, as I'm sure you saw from the whole world. Also, there was the End SARS protests that were also happening. It just was a time of high tension, but that humanity and the need for us to have humanitarian feelings was keeping us bound together despite all of this chaos that the world was going through. And I think just in talks that we all had, we all kind of, doesn't matter wherever we was on the planet, we were all feeling the same thing, I think. So that's kind of where the title came from. My journey through this space, I had to really kind of talk about what I've been personally going through this time. The isolation for me and the pandemic for me gave me a real chance to be quiet, I think. Just to be still. Self-employed or working for yourself during dance means that you are always like 100 miles, you're just running from job to job and kind of working on some crazy, there is no time off, there is no holidays. You might miss a birthday, not just yourself, but a family members as well. You might miss, really important, I don't know, anniversaries. It might just ellipse your brain because you've got this project happening. And it gave me a chance to just be still and slow all the way down, right down. I'm a big naturist. I love nature, especially because I live in a concrete jungle, being here in London. So it really gave me the chance to kind of be still. And I hope in the video that that I made and to contribute to this, you kind of hear it. Do you know what I mean? Like hearing stillness. It's loud when it's in abundance. It can be loud, even though it's not a sound at all. And a lot of the movement that was made just being still. And it came from a feeling. I created the music. I was trying to look for music to go with what this still feeling is. And I couldn't find something that complemented the space that I was in. So I was like, right, I have to go and make the music. So I had to go to a place called Dorset in England. If you know where that is with the sheeps and the lambs and the grazing of the free grazing of horses. I had a producer, name's called Benji Bauer, awesome guy, and he is his whole studio is in a barn. So I had to drive up for 2.5 hours to get to Dorset and go and make this music in a barn. And he watched me dance in this stillness, and he kind of looked at me and was making it, and as I was moving he was making a sound. What was that? Do that again, bring that back. And that's how the track was made, really organically, really, and it matched what I was feeling. And so then I was able to kind of hone that in. And then I had a videographer who his name's called Charles Rare. Brilliant light, more so with the lighting. I really wanted someone that was going to light it right and make my home feel warm, because that's what I was trying to create. in the stillness, it felt like a searching here. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a power of being warm inside and not allowing all the other stuff to rip your soul out and to take what is left of you. Do you get what I mean? So I wanted warmth, I wanted love, I wanted the humanity. My isolation process has been about this, bringing the pieces of myself back together in every aspect, in the filming of it, in the making the music of it, in every dance step of it, in the locations, everything. It just was about the other side of what isolation can do, because I know that it's very easy to portray the sadness that we've felt in that space in this time, because it's all around us. You see it everywhere. But what's really challenging is to find the undercurrents of what you've actually learnt. And I've learnt to really just be okay with not being okay, working out that space, finding warmth, as I said, family, love, my nan, I have really enjoyed spending time with her. This is my one grandparent left, and this isolation, this whole year has been incredible to spend time with her, because we can only spend it with one person at a time. So I chose to surround myself with granny wisdom. And so she's from Jamaica. So she's like, "Oh, you're right, baby. You're good. How you eating? You're feeling right." And that's kind of how she talks the whole time. And it's great. I love it. And I'm a bit like, why wasn't I surrounding myself with this before? What was I doing? So yeah, it's going to be, even when lockdown and this whole thing, pleases God, lifts, that it's going to be impossible to just go back to how he was. I couldn't have gone through all of this to just go back to how I was. I've got to make time for those special things that kept me going through this time. But yeah, that's kind of my process of this thing. I'm so thankful for it. I'm really grateful. I took so much more out of it than I even thought I was gonna, if I'm honest. Not just the creation of the video, but meeting other artists and kind of conferring, seeing other artists' art and seeing how they interpret the subject matter. Yeah, man, Jardy's the homie now. It's all love, man.
Yes, I agree.
Y'all just did it over the water, over the
water.
Over the water. Mm-hmm. Jade, the lighting, when you talk about it, it makes me think about how it made me think about the womb, actually. You know how like you shine a light, flashlight onto your hand and it gets that reddish
glow,
amber glow. That's what I was thinking about when you were talking about the lighting.
It felt like that.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like that. It's a fuzzy feeling that you kind of, that's why the first part of the video just starts with the ambiotic sound of my flat. So you can hear the clock tick, you can hear the drain, the water hitting on the drain. You can hear like my boiler in my flat kind of makes this little fuzzy noise. And I took all of those sounds with me to Dorset and we put them in the track. I said, we have to start it like this. I have to start it with how I started this whole thing, which was those noises, not a track, not, the subject. I just was still. And those in this place, that's the stillness I can hear. It's all the things. And this might sound a bit silly, but there's also a bit of gratefulness for those sounds. The sounds of a clock ticking its time. I'm grateful for time and every second that I'm given. I'm grateful for that heater, that little fuzzy boiler that's giving me heat and warmth right now around me. I'm grateful for that I've got a tap that I can just turn on and have access to. Just the little things became huge for me this whole past time. So
Huge.
yeah.
Wow. I'm so grateful for you. The world needs people like you, Jay.
Oh man.
For real.
My dream is, you know, once this whole thing lifts off and you're back running your awesome festival, that I actually get to come now in
Yeah.
real life and make this happen in real life. That's the goal.
Yeah. Tell them what happened a couple years ago.
Yes. So we was talking a couple years ago, and I was ready and all ready to go there. And then I got a huge career change offer, and I was battling for ages, like going back and forth, what am I going to do? But I had a talk with you, um and I'm so grateful that you was understanding, and you know, we arranged it and hashed it all out. But um yeah, it's definitely on my bucket list to make it to that festival, even if I'm not in it myself. It's just to come. I just want to.
Exactly. I feel you on that.
So tell us about your journey with the piece, with Isolation and Humanity.
Oh,
Like for you.
yeah. First off, I'm very, very grateful that you chose me. What's that? It's so happy about that. I know we go a long way back, and what's that? When you hit me up, I was just like, oh yes, awesome. It just kind of goes back around, you know. And in terms of like, I feel like you picked the perfect 5 people to work with, because we like the qualities that we wanted in the piece. It was like kind of like crisscross. Like I was like feeling like what everybody wanted in it. And I was like, yeah, I want that. Yeah, I want that as well, you know. So we worked very well together, and figuring out like what we wanted to do. I really gotta, I feel like a lot of people had their like different, like they put in like different things, you know. For me, I didn't know how it was gonna go at first, because I was like, I'm more of a doer, you know, rather than like, I can admit this to everybody, but rather than the idea person, you know. I'm like, you tell me what to do, I'll make it happen. I'm that kind of guy, you know. And I'm just very lucky to have like everybody else putting in their input, because I was like learning, you know. I was like, you know, this is the stuff that goes way over my head, like you know, like the stuff they were talking about, like isolation, humanity, you know. And to me, it was like stuff that I felt, but the way I grew up, it's always stuff that I kind of like, you know, let me push that aside. You know what I mean? Like, let me just do work, you know. And working with them, it really helped me to open up to this kind of performance, like to be more vulnerable, and to do something that, you know, is not just about like, because I think it's cool, which, you know, goes back to the whole like, I think dancing is so cool thing, you know. So for this one, I felt like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna have to step it up in terms of like opening up like my dance, and showing more of like my emotion into this piece, you know. So the collaborative thing for me, I feel like I was mostly learning, you know. I was mostly learning from everybody else, because I felt like, wow, you know, it's like, I know my videography, I know my, you know, I know all my technical stuff, I know how to do all these things, but the ideas that everybody was putting in, it was blowing my mind. I was like, like my, you know, like my jaw just dropped every meeting we had. I'm like, my goodness, where do you guys come up with this stuff? So to me, it was just really a lot about learning, observing, and finding out, like, you know, how I could fit myself into everybody else's ideas, you know. Because like I said, for me, it was like just making things happen.
The 5 of you obviously are 5 completely different people, move very differently. You know, your forms, art forms are different, but there's something that's very authentic about each one of you. And I've been doing this festival for 22 years, and I know a lot of incredible dancers, but I wanted something besides just incredible dancers. I wanted artists. And whether you can explain all of this stuff, it doesn't mean that you can't do it through your art. And you did. So that's the important thing. And then in the process, it sounds like you learned how to, like, you know, talk about it too, and conceptualize. Yeah, when I look at it, I was like, wow, it's grown up, Brandy. It's a grown up piece.
This grown up people doing it.
Really are.
And I'm not just talking about age. I'm just talking about the depth, I think, in which all of these artists like go into themselves to create their art. And even if it's not necessarily a, you know, emotional depth or depth, or like Micaya was saying, that you're really good at talking about it, but like you do it. It's just, again, it's part of why you were talking about how your voice is shaky, right? It's just like, this is me. I can't, yes, dance is cool, but there's also this other part that just like,
Yes.
I can't stop dancing if I wanted to. It just, my body is like, oh, I mean, right? You probably dance in the grocery store, Jardy, right? Or wherever,
Yeah.
right? You just waiting in line, grooving, right? So
yeah. Yes, that happened yesterday. Actually, I was waiting for some tea. Nothing else to do. I was like dancing. Oh,
right?
man.
Don't let the beat drop. You know, the one that you just feel it in your bones. Yes. So.
Yeah. Yeah. What's that? This piece really did give me an opportunity to just like let something out that's been like kind of like sealed in this whole pandemic, because it's kind of like there's been no release for a long time. And actually yesterday, like Jade was saying, the election results, that was such a release. What's that? I went out to nature yesterday, and it felt like there was like this cloud lifted out, like off of California. Everybody was so happy out there. So crazy. Oh man.
I know everybody that had their piece or their say in this performance had their own point of view, and that's what's so beautiful about it. And for me, it kind of just busted me a little wide open. Like I feel more vulnerable after seeing it, and I think I needed that, because I tend to, you know, guard myself a lot.
But that's what it does. That's what it's this whole time has exposed within us, that we are like this, you know, and that more than now, communication and love and humanity is what we need. So yeah, I'm all here for it. All here for it.
Nice. It's so wonderful to feel fulfilled, right?
Yeah.
And whole, and like you're like, oh yeah, I'm doing this. I'm able to keep doing this. That feeds me and is me.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I love watching you dance, Jardy. I remember when I first saw you at DanceFest perform with Soul Sector. So that was yes, I've always been a fan, and I think I was able to take a class one time from you, but like just been watching you dance all the time. So much respect. So tell us about your journey in dance, like, you know, getting started and just take us there.
Yeah. Well, you know, I've been dancing for quite a while. It never feels like it, but now that I look back at it, it's like, oh my gosh, that much time has come already, you know? And it kind of feels like this. Like one time I woke up in the middle of the night and I forgot who I was and what age I was. And I actually had to think about it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm already, at the time I was like 41. I'm 42 now. So I was like, I'm 41. Where has the time gone? That's what it feels like when it comes to dance, because I'm not really, it's not really that I keep track of how long I've been dancing. I just do it. It's part of my life, you know? It's not something that I feel like, oh, I'm gonna quit someday. It's not a timeline. It's lifestyle for me, you know. So I've been dancing for a while. It's something that I've always really, really loved as a kid. Growing up, I always thought it was so cool to see people perform, like Michael Jackson. And then I just remember around the time when I was in middle school, I was watching a lot, I kept replaying the Jump video by Crisscross in my head, because I just thought they were just so cool, you know? So that kind of like drove me to find an art that I felt like could give me that. And since for me it wasn't about vocal stuff, dance gave me that, you know. And it's something that I just kind of held on to throughout these years, that like this is like what I love to do. I love to perform. So because of that, you know, I started out like just kind of like just dancing around. It was very much part of the everyday culture back in the 90s to dance. And then as people kind of dropped out and started doing other things, I just kept doing it. I kept doing it because I loved it. And I found people that also loved it and kept doing it. And one of them, one group in particular is Soul Sector, which with Soul Sector, I performed for, I think, 6 years with Hip Hop Dance Fest from 2005 to 2010, I believe. Yeah, so it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 5 or 6 years, either 2009 or 2010. And around the time that a lot of people were like quitting, that kept me going. And then I started teaching, and then that's when I found like where I really love to be. I just like really love to teach, and I really love to be of service to people, because I didn't always want to be kind of like front and center performing, but I wanted to be there to be part of people's lives within dance. So with teaching, that I found like that when I was teaching every week after every class, I was just so happy. Like it was like, you know, like it was something that kept me going, you know. So that's what kept me consistent in dance, you know. Even if even when people come and go in my life, groups come and go, teaching people has always kept me consistently within it, you know. And of course, dancing in the kitchen and stuff like that when you hear music, you know, because that's that's where true dance comes out, you know, when you're just alone and you're feeling out music and stuff like that. So for me, it's just been a huge part of my life. Dance is something that you can't really take away from me, you know. Yeah. So I don't know why my voice has been shaking this whole time. It's so crazy. Like you know, talking about dance just gets me emotional, you know. It's so weird.
Oh,
But,
we know. We know. We've been
oh,
doing
man.
this and talking to dancers, and it's just like, it's deep. It's inside you. And I mean, you listen to people talk about it and you're like, yeah, that's right. That's, you know, that's in me. And so I feel like, you know, I'm getting a little misty eyed too, because you talk to people and it's like they are reflecting who you are back to you. Like, yes, that's for me too. You know, I'm not performing right now, but I'm up in the kitchen every day.
Yeah.
Dancing, you know, so it's deep.
Yeah. You know what I realized too is that the whole time I was talking, I didn't really talk about like right now. I just didn't talk about accomplishments, and I don't really care to talk about that. I know what I've done, you know, but it's just what I talked about was really how it makes me feel, you know, really how dance makes me feel good, and how it's like really makes me feel connected to people. And that's way bigger than a resume, you know.
Absolutely. I relate to so much that you've just said, Jardy, because I think we followed our own path of what's important to us. And it's very personal. And I feel the same way. I love dance. And I realized a long time ago that when I did my inventory of what was really important to me, it was more creating community and just dancing. But I don't want to dance for people. I don't want to perform. I like to create and watch what I've created. And so why do I have to do it? I don't want to. I love to dance in my kitchen for my grandson or for myself mostly. And I think it's amazing, but I don't need to prove that to anyone.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just, it's very special when you do something and it's just because you feel it in your heart, you know, and it's just yours. And if you can make a living out of it, which some of us have done, it's a crazy, especially in the United States, trying to make it work. But if you can make it work and you still are doing the part you love and you love what you do, like teaching, I'm like you, I love teaching. I love it. Then it's kind of ultimate, right? Everybody wants to wake up and want to do that thing that makes them lose track of time.
Yeah.
I would like to get into some DanceFest memories. So I know for me, you know, you were, like you said, you've been in DanceFest several times to the point where I feel like you are DanceFest. You're just, you know, I don't know. For me, and I guess usually they're like Bay Area folk who've just been around. So share with us some DanceFest memories. What do you think of when you think of DanceFest?
Oh man, so many memories. You know, one in particular that came up when Micaya asked me to perform for this one is the time when I think it was 2000, maybe 6. I think it was 2006 when she asked us to be the people on the poster, the cover people, you know, in the poster for that year. And I remember we were doing the photo shoot and Micaya was directing, and I had such a hard time opening up with the rest of the guys. Everybody was like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like everybody was like made to be in front of the camera. And for me at the time, it was like, you know, even till now, I'm like very introverted. So it's not like I could just open up in front of the camera. And I remember like Micaya like directing me, like, just let it out, Jardy, you know? And it was tough for me. And I felt like, gosh, I'm letting everybody down right now, you know? So, you know, at the end, we had some cool pictures. Of course, I was able to open up as much as I can, and we came up with some cool stuff. Years later, when Micaya asked me, you're asking me out of all the people that, you know, like, you know, she could have asked any other people from my group, and I felt, you know, it felt like such a like it was a heartwarming, like, I'm all like, you did believe in me, Micaya, you know what I mean? Because back then I was like, oh man, I don't want to let my group down. Got to open up, you know what I mean? And that's one of those things for me that, you know, I always end up coming back into my shell, but when it counts, I will be there. I'll be there and be vulnerable, you know? So that's one memory. A lot of the other memories, oh man, just being backstage, you know, and then I actually miss it a lot because there were a lot of memories at Palace of Fine Arts. Just the darkness, hearing other people like performing outside, the crowded dressing rooms, and like you never know what you're gonna get sometimes. And having Micaya fly other people in where it's like, I've never seen these people, but wow, they're crazy. Especially during the times when she would fly out people that have mentored me from the East Coast, like Elite Force, and then being able to share the stage with them. Things like that. It's just, it's all here, you know? It's like, it stayed right here. It's been at least 10 years since the last performance, but it's like just Micaya hitting me up brought all those memories back, you know? And yeah, I just love it. What's that like? Just the craziness that would happen backstage. You know what I mean? Like all the people and people getting ready, the chaos. Like, yeah.
So every time you performed at DanceFest, it was always with Soul Sector. Is that correct?
Yeah, there was this 1 year, 2 years actually, when we would have like headhunters as well, but that was practically the same group, you know, of because we were all like close.
Yeah.
You know?
Sometimes I get, you know, there's so much incestual relationships. I say that like that. I mean, like there's a lot.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I know it.
Dance company in the Bay Area. So I think of them as this one dance company. They're like, oh no, I danced with Funkonometry in 19 whatever. I'm like, oh damn, I didn't know. But I'm looking right now at the 10th annual, which is the one you're on. It's out of all 22, it's still one of my very favorite images. I remember that photo shoot. I was telling you guys, explode. And I remember you not exploding, but you're doing this like back bend. You have your curly hair. You look great. I love that image. It's really one of my favorites. And it was 10-year anniversary, which was epic. Like, I didn't know we were going to do 10 years. And honestly, you haven't been back since then because you've been doing your own thing and traveling. And I want you to come back sometime because I've tried to evolve the festival. And now, you know, back then I did the best I could for you guys. I've always done the best I could, but I want now, you know, I do more. And when I get more funding, I want to do more. I want to treat.
Oh, that's so good.
No, it's like, it's the only reason I would do it. And like, I love the fact that everyone we've talked to, Brandy, has said they've enjoyed being backstage, being there with other dancers that they have admired, and then I brought them here. That's just really heartwarming.
I love the VIP party, and this is connected, but like, I feel like the original VIP party was backstage. Like how you talk about it being dark. I'm like, yes, those are my memories too. It's dark. Everybody's, you know, you got to get quiet, but then you can be loud. People are running back, you know, because they can't cross over the stage on stage, and people are breaking their neck to go around. I mean, just like all these different memories, sounds. You know, you're backstage, and there's only certain people who are back there, so it's very special.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Micaya, I wanted to clarify. Whenever I said like headhunters were there, it was usually part of the Soul Sector performance. So it was during those times we'd have more people or something like that. But otherwise, like the Soul Sector core range from like 4 to 7 people or something like that.
And let me tell you, everybody, if you weren't around back then, and I know a lot of people are, because either at the show they come up and tell me, or now they're emailing me because they're getting these online tickets and they're testifying. I've been coming since 2003. I've been coming since 2001. So those of you who weren't and are new, Soul Sector was the thing everybody waited for. They show, you know, because every single one of you were powerhouses. It wasn't just, you weren't relying on one strong dancer. All of you guys were so strong, and it was just like, yeah, Soul Sector. Oh my God, yeah.
Oh, yes. For real. I mean, like, I remember the piece where like there was the toy music, and I think that was hot. And was there another one where you were in like almost like fatigues?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, yes, Soul Sector. I'm a big Soul Sector fan. And like, I'm gonna co-sign what Micaya said. It was like each of the members, powerhouses, just coming out, and you're just like, dang, you know, seeing each person perform. And yes.
All right, guess what? We ran out of time. It's been a wonderful time. I felt like so much warm and fuzziness. Thank you, Jardy. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Micaya. Thanks, Brandy.
Brandy, it's on. We've got 1 week, as everybody knows, to the airing of the show. The show is going to be amazing. I can't wait to see and hear from all of you. Thanks again, everyone. Until next time. Bye, everybody. Much love and much respect.